Hey, what's going on, guys? Left-handed shooter. Like I had posted on the page the other day, I was seeking out topics to talk about, things of that nature, and I had a follower ask me on the basics cleaning of a revolver because he just recently picked one up and he wanted to be a little bit more detailed and informed on this. So I said, okay. I took out my revolver some months back to the shooting range and it needed a cleaning, so I figured, hey, might as well do a quick video. I might not go into a thorough cleaning on it, just kind of a quick run through and explanation on how to do it. But yeah, today we're gonna be doing my Ruger 357 Magnum that I have, and let's go ahead and check it out. All right, as you guys can see here, as always, nothing in the chamber, gun's empty. This is going to be the one that we're reviewing today. And while I'm going through the process for cleaning this, I'm going to go ahead and set the camera inside of the stand, and then I'll be jumping into the next screen. But here you go. Here's the 357 Magnum, empty chamber. Products I'll be using: AMSOIL firearm lubricant and the cleaner as well. And today, I don't usually have ammo around with the guns when I am cleaning them, but just on the topic of the follower also had picked up a 357 and had a couple of questions. So I'm going to address some ammo questions towards the end of the video. And I'll just go over real quick the items that I'll be using. Some cleaning patches. Got a couple of Q-tips in there. I usually keep like a little shop towel, and also this cleaning kit that I got. It was a present, so this was just kind of like a all-encompassing cleaning kit. It's got the cleaning rods, the brushes, the copper bore brushes, the padded brushes, or not padded brushes, but the padded ends to kind of clean the barrel out, and some more cleaning pads on the side. Don't mind the garage, it's a little bit dirty, still haven't really fully unpacked, but yeah. I haven't really gotten fully settled into the area that I want to be in because I've been a little bit busy with work and with things in the house. So unfortunately, I'm kind of halfway set up inside the garage. But let's go ahead and get started on the cleaning. All right, here we go on the cleaning. So again, this is my Ruger 357 Magnum. No rounds in the wheel. Obviously, there's nothing through the barrel. It's completely empty, as you can see, fiddling around with it. But so the basics that you want to do is you want to make sure you have the proper brushes. Sorry, I'm not going to move the camera around. I have it fixed to a little stand, so it'll be staying there. But one of the things I like to use, a little nylon brush or nylon bristle brush, works great for just kind of getting gunk off of the gun. Since it is snub nose revolver, I will be using one of the small T handles with whatever brush attached. So here's a little T handle right here. Let me go ahead and find the brush for you guys real quick. Oh, here we go. So it is a 357 Magnum, which, if you didn't know, I know this is common information for some people that are more enthusiastic about guns. You can shoot 38 special rounds out of a 357 Magnum. So in order to go ahead and clean the gun, I'm going to get the little bristle. Let's see if I can get the camera focused. Let's see. Come on, focus a little bit. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it to focus on there. All right, for whatever reason, I can't get it to focus, but this is 38 caliber brush. So on top of that, with the little handle, actually, let me see if I have the, nope, got the wrong handle. Let me switch it out real quick. I'll be using this T handle right here. And let me go ahead and find, here we are. Got a little padded brush to kind of clean up any residue afterwards. And let me pull out some of the Q-tips here. So like I said, I'll do a quick quick run through. Let me pull out some of these small pads to use here. There's the Q-tips. I'll put this bag away, bring the shop rag out. For those of you that are not familiar with gun cleaning and everything, I mean, this brush came with my kit. You can go into your local gun shop and they'll have little bristle brushes that are nylon bristle brushes, usually from anywhere from $1 to $3, or you can buy a full kit like this. This one was gifted to me by my dad, so I'm just taking advantage that the stuff's there. But this one's got a couple of different different bristle brushes. But a little nylon brush works really well for getting into some of the nooks and crannies. This is going to be to initially clean your barrel and your chamber, or in this case, the wheel. Same thing with this one. This one's just going to kind of soak up any remaining stuff. The pads, I'm going to go ahead and use them with the little eye loop. And that one is going to be for sticking the pads through, soaking them in the cleaner and running them through the barrel and through the wheel as well. I'm not going to break this one down 100% for a full cleaning. Like I said, I cleaned it before I took it out to the range, took it out, did some ammo trials through it, tried out different rounds that I had and that were given to me. So, all right, let's get started real quick. So first things first, I'm going to actually move this stuff off, and I'm going to use this pad, even though I do have this gun cleaning mat, which depending on what size you want, I went ahead and got the exploded diagram of the AK-47 because I am a fan of the AKs, but you can get these on Amazon from anywhere from $7 to up to $30. They have trays, they have different things, but yeah, I think I may have paid like $9 or $12, between $9 and $12 for this mat. But yeah, great to have, you know, all your parts and accessories laid out, whatever you're gonna need for cleaning. But all right, let's get started real quick. So first thing I want to do, get the cleaner. I like using the little straw for it since it is a smaller firearm. So I am just gonna spray a little bit through the barrel, kind of give it a little spray into the wheel. And first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead, actually, wrong one. I apologize. It's gonna be the little brass brush. I'm just gonna swing it out. I'm just gonna wanna push it through, trying to avoid hitting the firing pin, so cover that up real quick. Run it through a couple times, loosen up any of the dirt that might be in there. And then after that, go ahead and rotate it over and hit each cylinder. Kind of give it a quick pass through, nothing too crazy, doesn't need anything extensive. Obviously, if you're firing some dirty rounds through it, some, you know, dirty ammo, go ahead and go a little bit more in depth. But that one was just a quick scrubbing of all the surfaces inside of the wheel and inside of the barrel. Then after that, go ahead and attach the little eye loop through it. Get a patch, run it through real quick. And same thing as before. You want to just kind of run it through there. See how I picked up some of the dirt in there already. If you feel like if the rag is too loose in there, not the rag, but the little cloth or patch is too loose in there, you can go ahead and double it up. And let's get a little bit of extra cleaning on it. So I'm going to spray some of the cleaner on it. Double up the pads, 2 of them, stick them through the hole. And just go ahead and repeat. Push it through, give it a few passes. Some people will use the actual cotton brush head instead, but I like using the patches, get most of the dirt that I can out of there. And then now we're just going to rotate it over, run it through each of the chambers in the wheel. As you guys can see, some of the ammo that I was using was kind of dirty. Sorry, there we go, right on the camera. Some of them were a little bit dirty, so once the rags get dirty, toss them aside. grab a couple more. We'll do a little bit more spray on there. And get them back in here. Come on. And there we go. All right. Now we're back in business. So I'm gonna go through every single one of the chambers all over again in the wheel, just kind of pressing through. So if you can't see it from the bottom, I'm pushing, there we go, pushing all the way through, pulling it right back out. So I'm just kind of going through each individual cylinder. Patches seem to be somewhat clean already. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the little eye loop off. Go ahead and get the little cotton pad brush head. And now we're going to do same thing all over again. Drop the cylinder out, run it through the barrel, see if there's any more contaminants inside of the barrel. Pad seems to be coming up clean, so I'm going to rotate it out and go through each of the cylinders, just kind of rotating it, each one individually. Let's see, that was number 3, 4, and 5. Looking at the pad, or little padded brush, seems to be clean, so that part's clean. So at this time, you can go ahead and close this off. Depending on how dirty the gun got, we'll spray a little bit of cleaner there. You know, there's one thing you can't do wrong, and that's overspraying it with cleaner, especially if you're going to go through and clean the gun. So after that, kind of give the exterior a little bit of a scrub down, right? Kind of scrub it down. Depends on how long you've gone between cleanings or whatever. You may want to, in this case, mine has a screw at the bottom of the grip. Take that screw out, slip it out, make sure there's no gunk building up inside of the handle frame. There are some moving components inside of most revolvers. This one is double action only, and it's hammerless, so that means you're getting, you know, the double action of rotating the cylinder, locking in place, and retracting the hammer as well, and dropping the hammer on the pin with one pull of the trigger. So as you can see, this one has no external hammer. But over time, if this is a carry gun for any chance, you know, you can get lint, sweat, you know, crud building up on the inside between the little cracks around the handle, so you can unscrew it, clean on the inside of that. I took it apart thoroughly when I traded out the gun and got this one. So that I know that's clean, and I've only taken it to the range once, so I don't really need to do a super in-depth cleaning on that regard. All right, so I'm back. I did a complete wipe down, kind of took care of it on my own. Like I had mentioned previously, just go through, give it a thorough cleaning on the outside as needed, as you see fit. If you're still seeing, you know, gunk or any buildup or anything anywhere. There is one thing I did forget to mention. Since it is a wheel gun, most wheel guns have the little lever right here that will allow you to depress it to eject all the shells. So sometimes you'll get buildup in there from the type of ammo that you're shooting. So take a second, push the pin in, kind of get in there with the cotton swab or patch or whatever, and just kind of give it a good clean. And then after that, should be good. So I've already gone ahead, wiped it down completely. There might be a little bit of a cleaner sitting around on there. But now on to the lubricant. So for a wheel gun, there's not much you need to lubricate on it. Probably is going to be the swing out arm right here. That's going to be one, because you might get some gunk buildup. Again, if you have it as a concealed carry firearm, you're going to get some gunk building up in there. You know, from, you know, the lint from your clothes, things of that nature, any sweat, any, you know, anything that might get in there depending on where you're carrying it, if you're carrying on an ankle or whatever, whatnot. So definitely put a drop of lubricant right there in that little swing arm, and that's specifically to rotate the housing out. The next thing I would probably say to add some lubricant to is going to be the lever that kicks all the brass out. So just go ahead and add a drop in there, open it up, kind of rub it around, make sure that it runs smoothly, make sure that there's no obstructions in there. You know, sometimes you might run into it where it needs a little bit of cleaning to get some of the gunk off, but that's going to be one of those things that you want to lubricate. It's kind of hard to see in here. I'm going to point at it from the outside. But there's a little notch right here. And this is actually the cylinder lock. So as you're depressing the hammer, it'll allow it to rotate to the next round. And then it'll lock it in place. And then it'll drop the hammer and fire the gun. But that little notch right there, you don't want anything getting built up in there. So just go ahead and add a drop. Sometimes you can use a cotton swab, kind of apply it, rub it in there. You don't need to have it super saturated with a lubricant, just kind of enough to keep those moving parts intact. Other than that, pretty much, there's not much else you need to really lubricate. I'm just kind of getting rid of some of the excess stuff on there. There is one thing I learned, as I was new to revolvers prior to purchasing this gun, or not purchasing, but trading out for it. This little flathead screw that's right in there, it's kind of hard to see. That screw in there actually adjusts the tension of how much pressure it takes to release the wheel and how much pressure it takes to push the wheel back in. So on these, at least on the Ruger LCR, you can fiddle with that right there. These do come with locking grips, which means you can unscrew that, and there's a locking mechanism on the inside of the grip that allows you to lock the firearm so it's inoperable. I know there's a few revolvers out in the market that have different options for that applied into their mechanics. Not all of them have it. Some of the older ones tend to not have that. Some of the newer ones do. But again, it's up to your discretion to read your owner's manual and find out the specifics to your firearm. In my case, mine didn't come with the key, but luckily it functioned. But if not, you can take it to a gunsmith and have that figured out. I don't think I ever did a video, but I did end up swapping out the front sight post on this for a high-vis green. They had a high-vis green and a high-vis red front sight. Just because when I had first got the gun, it was very hard to see that front sight. But now having the notch cut out in the back with that high visibility front sight, it makes it that much easier to acquire target, especially in dimly lit situations. And this is the hoe grip that came with it. Pretty comfortable grip. It's a soft rubber, but it still actually absorbs, the shock and the recoil of a 357 Magnum. It is a little bit difficult to deal with the recoil depending on the type of round that you shoot. Again, I highly encourage every time you have a gun that you try out different ammo. Another thing some people don't know about, and this was something that I learned on my SIG P938, and that was that your gun is actually rated for specific types of ammo. So before you go purchasing any, plus P plus or, plus P ammo, which tend to be a little bit hotter rounds, make sure you, either read the owner's manual or, contact the manufacturer directly and find out if there's any ammo specifically that you can't shoot out of this gun. I know a lot of 38 specials that are, or revolvers that are chambered in 38 special obviously cannot load 357 Magnum, but there's also a lot of limitations where the manufacturer will tell you you cannot load a plus P 38 special round. You have to stick to your regular grains and loads. You can't go with the higher defense rounds. But that's it for the cleaning. And let me go ahead and move on to the ammo and let me get this thing put away. All right, so I'm just putting the gun away so that way you guys can see that I'm not gonna have any live ammo out with the gun. Case is shut. I'm just gonna move it off to the top of the screen right here. And I'm gonna bring in the ammunition. This one's just gonna be a quick coverage on the ammunition. So this very first round that I have is 38 special full metal jacket. This next one is a 357 Magnum full metal jacket. Then I have a 357 Magnum hollow point, which seems to be, looks to me like a soft nose on it. Like I said, some of this ammo was given to me from guys that I work with that had 357 Magnums that they no longer owned, and they just had a bunch of ammo. And these were the rounds that came with the gun when I traded out for it. It's aluminum case, hollow points. Not really sure who makes it. Apparently it's a Winchester round. But these three to the right are 357 Magnums, and then this is the single 38 Special. So I'll bring these up to the camera. Let me go. Oh, sorry. Here we go. So I'll bring these up to the camera. As you can see, 357 Magnum in my left hand, or not 357 Magnum, sorry, 38 Special in my left, 357 Magnum in my right. As you can see, the case is a little bit longer. The case bottom, or the case rim, is also a little bit wider on the 38 Special, sorry. And yeah, so if you want to get familiar with a revolver and you have a 357 Magnum specifically and you're trying to warm up to it, I definitely recommend getting some 38 Special full metal jacket rounds just to practice with. I think I have, let me grab a box real quick. I got a box of Remington UMC 38 Special rounds. They were just given to me with the gun. Guy gave me a couple of them, so I had to, these rounds right here are 130 grain full metal jackets. All right, so yeah, my recommendation, go ahead and practice with 38 Special, get familiar with the gun. Be comfortable with the gun, and then transition over to the 357 Magnums. And then again, as I always tell my followers, is if you're going to carry a defensive round of any type, practice with that round, understand what the recoil is, find a round that you're comfortable with, and a round that's also got a good reputation for, you know, if you're going to use hollow tips that that expand well, that shoot well, that are comfortable on the handling. And, you know, always go out there, take it to your local range, put some rounds through it. If you're going to have another family member that handles that firearm, make sure they get enough practice as well. The last thing you want is your family members to be unfamiliar with it, and the first time they have to pick it up in a defensive situation, they're pretty much shocked and traumatized by the recoil on a 357 Magnum. The other alternative you have for if you own a 357 Magnum is you can get hollow points that are 38 Special. Obviously the ballistics are going to be slightly different, not too far off, but 357 Magnums tend to have twice the muzzle energy than a 38 Special. So if you think a 38 Special is pretty rough, 357 Magnum is almost double the kinetic energy from the muzzle than you would get out of a 38 Special. But that's all I got. Like I said, it was a quick cleaning of a revolver. Again, if you have a revolver that's got a hammer, or if you got a different brand or whatever, make sure you look up the specific details on what needs to be cleaned and what needs to be lubricated. But for the most part, it's always going to be the barrel, the chambers inside the wheel, and any of the moving components that help cycle that wheel. And make sure they're lubricated, make sure they're clean. And again, more than anything, if it's a concealed carry firearm that you carry, make sure that you clean it regularly, inspect it regularly, take it out to the range regularly, make sure your rounds are still good. And if you want, cycle the rounds that you've been carrying for some time, cycle them out at the range and put a new batch in. In my case, mine is only a 5-round cylinder. Some have 6, 7, all the way up to 8 rounds, just depending on the caliber. But if you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the boxes below. If you have any questions about any of the gear that I have here, please let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. But that's all I got. Thanks, guys. I know the credits were already passing and everything, and I already, summed up the video, but this was the first of 3 videos that were requested. The next one that I'll be doing once I get my 5.56 pistol finished up, I will be doing a comparison between owning a 300 blackout pistol versus a 5.56. So stay tuned for that. I'll get to it hopefully within the next week or so, and I will let you guys know. But yep, quick interjection. I got 2 more videos in line coming for you guys. All right, thanks.